one of the questions that we get asked all the time as we manufacture this fixed-wing aircraft is, as a farmer, how do you know? Do you want a quadcopter? Do you want a fixed-wing platform? What is best for your specific application? Because it's going to be different. These have two very different applications. So you want to make sure that you're looking for a platform that's serving your exact need.
And some of the differences of the applications that we can use, they really vary drastically. With a fixed wing, it's very good at scanning a large area. So if I have thousands of acres on my farm, utilizing the fixed wing UAV, I can cover all of those acres in a day's time. Whereas the quadcopter, it might take me a little bit longer. But if I have something such as a grain elevator that I need to do inspection on at the top of it, where I need to sit in a single place and look at something, a quadcopter is very, very good at that.
And one of the things to note, I know that Tyler mentioned at the beginning that a fixed-wing aircraft can fly for much longer amounts of time. So between 45 minutes to an hour, and that's constantly growing. But these quadcopters have a little bit less amount of flight time. So you have to switch out the battery a little more often. These platforms are definitely more so used on an enterprise level scale, so on a full farm management system. And we'll talk more about both of these types of platforms later on in the show. When you're reading articles in the media all the time, one of the things that a lot of UAV companies are saying is it's all about the data. The data is what matters. But how are you collecting the right data sets for your specific application? How do you know that you're getting what you looked for? So what is actually collecting the data is what we call a sensor. We at Precision Hawk, we have integrated 15 different sensors into our particular platform. But all different UAVs have different sensor options available. So for us, some of the main ones are visual, which is just your basic camera, multispectral, which lets you see your field in different bands of light, and a hyperspectral, which is like a multispectral on steroids. And then we also fly thermal, so you can look at things like crop health, and a LiDAR, and a few other different options that you can look at on our website, precisionhawk.com. But when you're looking at all these different sensors, they're expensive, and a lot of companies like ours allow you to rent them if you don't want to make the financial investment to buy each one. But you want to make sure that when you're buying a sensor, you're getting the data that you need to make better decisions on your farm.
So we're always asked, what sensors do I need for what I'm doing on my farm? And it really depends on what exact applications you're looking to accomplish. I can do a lot of that with a couple of sensors, being a visual sensor and one of our multispectral sensors. With the visual sensor alone, I can do things ranging from being able to determine the slope on my field, which allows me to plan for drainage and tiling, as well as irrigation. I can also use that throughout the season to figure out what my plant height is. So I can get a good idea of how my plants are growing throughout the field, and potentially even being able to actually count each individual plant in the field. So if my planter skips, I can catch that early enough and go back and replant. With the multispectral sensor, I can start to see things that I can't see with my own human eyes, because it can see in different bands of light than we can see. And with that, I can really start to see some more advanced things that's going on with the plants. I can see information about the nutrients. I can see general health of the plant, so I can get a good idea of, do I need to go apply some kind of a spray, a herbicide, a pesticide? I can start to identify diseases. So in a potato field, I might be able to identify and map out potato blight. So these are just a couple of examples that we can do with a couple of our sensors. And in a farm aspect, you're really looking at a visual sensor and a multispectral sensor to get started. With all of these sensors, with the Precision Hawk Lancaster platform, they're all plug and play. So I push the sensor in the bottom, the computers on board the UAV know exactly what that sensor is and knows exactly how to collect data for that sensor. So we've streamlined that process to make it easier on the farmer to be able to collect the data that he needs. One of the most overlooked factors when most people go to purchase a UAV is the ease of use of that platform.
One of the most important things for us as a company, and I know a lot of other UAV companies on the market right now, is the ability to go out and fly every single day without being a registered pilot, without being an engineer or a geospatial analyst. You want to be able to buy a platform, go out in your field, throw it in your truck, and be flying every single day. You don't want to have to take a lot of time to take classes or become a certified pilot. This is something that should just be part of your flow, like I mentioned before, like your John Deere tractor.
And with the Precision Hawk Lancaster UAV platform, it's really as simple as I take it out of the box, I put it together in a minute and a half, and then I create a flight plan. And when I create a flight plan, I'm not actually drawing lines back and forth. I just give it a box of where I want it to fly, and it figures out the rest.
Along with ease of use, one of the things you want to look at in a platform that you're investigating to bring into your workflow is how much intelligence is in the platform itself. So we consider our UAV platforms to be flying robots, and they have to be packed with a lot of artificial intelligence so that you are hands-off in the process. You literally go out into the field, you want to be able to put the plane together, like Tyler mentioned, and just throw it up in the air like a paper airplane, not have to worry about it. The more hands-off you are in the process, the better the end result will be.
And when Leah talks about putting the plane together, it really should be just as easy as I click all the parts together, I click go, the motor spools up, and I toss it. It figures out the rest of its flight, it knows how to collect the data, and it comes back and lands by itself. From that point, handling the data, I pull the stick off the plane, plug it into my laptop, the software does the rest. It really should be that easy so that there's not a big learning curve to figure out how to get the information that I need to benefit my farm.